there seems to be this like reflecting or mirroring that other artists seem to get you to do in relation to your own music. And I'll dig into what I mean there a little more later, so you can dispute my theory as we get further into it. But I'm curious about your relationship with Farah, and how does working with an artist like that, who's doing something a little bit different than how you normally approach composition or performance or production, how do they get you to think about your own music differently? Is there an intellectual element, or is this just about feel and vibe? And
it's about feel and vibe. It's about variety too. In the past, I've made some electronic music. I used to experiment with very sort of low-tech 4-track tape stuff, and it's not generally these days how I think about music or how I hear music, how I imagine music. But I like it, and so it's refreshing. It's refreshing to work with an artist who will have this sort of transformative effect on this thing that's already been recorded. There's also a thing, I mean, this might sound silly. I feel like sometimes having a purely acoustic recording, I sometimes feel like it almost puts you in a stance as a purist or a traditionalist if you're not using any electronics. Electronics just seem to be so prominent in all music today. And again, it's not calculated, but it's just something I noticed. When I listen to the record, I go, oh, right, these parts sound more contemporary, and these other things sound less contemporary just by virtue of being purely acoustic, you know?
it's really interesting because as you were saying that, I was thinking that by not allowing some of these modern flourishes or new tools into the palette, into the toolbox, you run the risk of almost making an unintentional statement.
Right.
You come across as a purist or a classicist when it's not necessarily what you mean.
No, exactly. I mean, I think there's a lot of territory to be mined with acoustic music and acoustic sounds, and I'm committed to jazz as acoustic music, particularly live. I'm not crazy about playing gigs where the drums are amplified and so on. I mean, I like smaller scale work, but this isn't a live performance. It's a recording. You have the luxury of treating some of the things that we're working with. It's not just treatments. I mean, it's transformation. If you heard the original improvisations that John was drawing from and making these electronic pieces, like they don't sound really anything like what we ended up with.
That's neat.
Yeah.